quicker than him when you include the 100 pluses and a few other big names. But big play and a miss. Karen Casey looks like a man with a real jig in his step, Mel, doesn't he? And you can understand why.
I think he's still on cloud 9. There you can see the flags that are flying above the scorer's hut right now. It's absolutely stiff as a board, those flags. That wind is super strong, and that, as you're looking on your screen, is blowing. We'll wait until we have the camera changed to the other angle. But it's basically going towards leg side, so leg side hitting into the wind.
Yeah, right to left as you look there on your screen as Vikramjit Singh drives for a single. End of the third, it's 10 for 1. See there, two flags are doing well to stay onto the flagpole, Mel, aren't they?
I'll tell you what, they really are. They're just straining. The actual flagpole is swaying almost wildly when you look at it from this angle. We did see some balls that got into that wind actually go over the fence into the house next door yesterday. The old over and out.
Yeah, the one Karen KC picked up off Michael Leask was a particularly good shot, wasn't it? The way he got it up into the wind and it just kept going.
Yeah, we had a few sort of head out that way over the scorer's hut. Incredibly, the one he played down the ground of Safian Sharif had cleared the clubhouse and the.
Yeah, it was the Yorker he missed, wasn't it? Thuds off the thigh pad. Vim Sharkey takes the catch. I think the umpire feels as though it's thigh pad only. That was the only noise that we could hear. We're a long way away, but I think that's a good decision. We've got an all Scottish umpiring pairing today. We've got the fine legal mind of David McLean, who's joined by Ian McDonald out there. Our reserve umpire from Bangladesh is Ghazi Sahel, and then Graham McCrae is the Irish match referee, who we saw out at the toss. Yeah, definitely thigh pad only, although Sharkey was up and about and interested. A little bit of a misnomer, Mel, as well. Ooh, good short ball from Cammy. You were saying it's difficult to start here at this pitch, and I think you're right in what you're saying through the middle overs. I think early on in the first power play we saw Nepal score really fluently. I think we saw Munsey think as though it was an absolute road given the form he's in. He was attacking and attacking, took 12 off the first over before he was dismissed, and then even Charlie Tier, who throughout his little start to international cricket has scored very slowly, he was hammering along at over a run of ball for much of his innings. So I think maybe some of the best times to bat here on this surface, like Vikramjit Singh shows us there, is going to be in this first power play. I think the ball comes onto the bat very nicely. It's when it gets a little bit softer it's going to be trickier and maybe stopping, and that's where the variety in Nepal's bowling attack could very much come into effect. Well run there for 3.
And it emphasises the fact that the batting team really has to make the most of the power play, knowing that it is going to get tricky to get in afterwards. Certainly Richie Berrington was saying after the match he never quite felt in, but at this point in time, and that's perhaps why Scott Edwards has said we're going to have a bat, just feeling that with the ball coming on early, maybe they could just make the most of this power play and get themselves into a strong early position. Could get harder conditions, could get trickier later today. Hybrid pitch being used, of course, and quite fitting that the Netherlands team are here, because it was a Netherlands company that installed the hybrid pitch here at Fort Hill in the lovely village of Broughty Ferry.
Yeah, there's plenty of hybrid pitches in the Netherlands, so that's something that will not bother them or worry them in any way, shape or form. They'll know exactly how they play. The only thing I've felt about the hybrid pitches here in in Scotland as opposed to the ones I've seen in action in Netherlands. There's a bit more bounce here at the Forfarshire CC grounds than the ones we saw skidding on in the Netherlands, where Carl Klein has particularly used them to such good effect. We'll get us to the end of the fourth over, 13-1, a cautious start. Nepal have that early breakthrough and they've kept the run scoring in check. Good start from the men, full of confidence after that heroic win 2 days ago.
It certainly is, and Lenny, I feel like I owe our viewers an apology. Our viewers in Nepal, because you're asking people to send us messages and tell us where they were watching from. And I was looking on X, formerly known as Twitter, and then I suddenly, later in the day, I looked on Instagram and I had loads of messages. And so if you do send them in today, I will check on Instagram and I will read out and respond to as many as I can.
I think a lot of people have exodused that platform, haven't they, from X or whatever they're calling it now. It's a shame because it was such a brilliant platform a while ago before certain things changed. As we get a look at the single that Singh runs through. Yeah, do get in touch, use that hashtag CWCL2. Tell us where you're watching from. Crucially, send a photo of it too as well. So some great setups with people either enjoying a 4 a.m. in the morning wake up in Texas, or a late night down in Canberra or Tauranga in New Zealand. Messages from Korea, Japan, all corners of the globe where particularly the Nepalese diaspora have spread out to. Plenty in the Middle East as well. There's a huge student population of Nepalese students in Korea, fascinatingly, particularly in Seoul. And from an Irish perspective, obviously that's my first home, but my second home is very much in Nepal. And it's something I can empathise with. We have emigrated for not just decades but generations, for all eternity it feels like, and it's now what Nepali students are doing in particular all around the world. They spread their culture, their joy, their way of being. Huge populations in Australia, in America, and actually it's rather fitting that Nepal are playing Netherlands today, isn't it?
It's a special anniversary,
isn't it? 1 year on to the day. Let's have a talk about that game, Mel. That was what Ian Bishop referred to as one of his moments of the entire T20 World Cup. Nepal coming back into World Cup action for the first time in 10 years, and the fans and the colour and the noise that they made at the Major League Cricket Stadium there in Grand Prairie in Texas was simply unforgettable. A year ago today.
Yeah, a year ago today it was a low-scoring thriller. There were storms about. It was... I love games like that sometimes, when it is difficult and it is low-scoring. It was Netherlands victorious on that occasion by 6 wickets, but only 8 balls remaining. They take another single, but I think it was the first time that many people, you mentioned Ian Bishop, saw how passionate the Nepalese fans are, and they really are a special bunch. We saw it here 2 days ago. The world saw it a year ago today in Dallas.
It's a tiny bit of concern. You'll think we're lying to you given the bright scenes you're seeing on the TV. There's a bit of a concern from the ground staff there. There's hustling around the covers. There's a few drops of rain in the air.
I just felt it come in. That's why I've just put my hand out, and I'm trying to work out where it's coming from, because there is a lot of blue sky above us.
Bowls him. Karen KC straight through. It is Karen Casey's world right now. We are purely living in it, Mel Farrell. What a piece of bowling. Gets it full, gets it straight, and finds its way straight through Max O'Dowd. It's the old friends at it again, Cammy and Casey.
Well, he just continues to have a wonderful series. Full, straight, pings middle stump. Karen Casey, he loves a big moment, and don't bet against him having a few more big moments here today. But O'Dowd, it is a big wicket. He departs for 4. Nepal have their second.
And immediately Scott Edwards' questionable call that the toss is coming into view. Couldn't believe he won the toss and chose to bat first.